Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Good
We'll wait for
morning.
others.
Good morning from Malawi.
Yes. You're joining first time, Tanzania?
Oh, no.
Okay. So today we
Yeah.
will wait for videos to be on one by one. We'll wait for others to join, then we'll begin. While we are waiting for others to join, I'm requesting those who are already here on time to kindly jot down. Can you hear me? I will be asking each of you to give me a little feedback, recap we are calling. What anything, few things that you remember from last two times. So I'll wait for 5 minutes more for everyone to join. That is the first assignment we are taking for now. Feedback, recall of what we did last two classes. First thing. Second thing, when everybody is back, I would like to know last year field work. What was your placement, field work placement? Where will you go for field work? So, what was the locate? What kind of work placement did you have? What was the opportunity you got in field work? That is the second we are going to take up. And I will link both these things with what I'm going to do today. So, I'm giving you time, 5 minutes, to write down in your notebook these two things before we start the afternoon session. Is it clear to all of those who have joined just now? I will repeat when others join. You get 5 minutes extra because you joined on time.
Yes, ma'am.
So write down and we will take feedback. Let others come. It's necessary for others to contribute and be part of this learning because I will link it with my today's class. When you're ready, let me know with the points. I have elaborated a little bit about my expectation from you in the chat. What was the opportunity provided to you through fieldwork? Who were the clients and what did you learn? I'm giving you 5 minutes to jot down your points, okay? And then we will begin one by one. You will give me feedback. I will then take it from there. Are we expecting more students to join? I hope you are writing down your points, students. Okay. Michael, please switch on your video. Let me see you to start recognizing my students. Yes. The assignment is that, as we discussed yesterday, first point is that what was the learning from the last two classes, yesterday and last Friday? What do you recall of what we learned? Any few things you remember which made value to your learning? That is assignment number one. 5 points you can write. Second assignment is, you had fieldwork last year, all of you. All of you went for
Yes,
fieldwork?
ma'am.
Yes. So where did you go? Who were the clients? What did you do? What did you learn? Yes, Monday, Christmas. You want to say something? Did you learn anything about human behavior in the fieldwork? Was there any opportunity? That is the question. Is it clear, Michael, Simba? My questions to you all.
Yes, ma'am, very clear.
Good. So I'm giving 5 minutes more for those who joined, and after that, one by one, we have to switch on our video and share our points. Then I will take it forward from there. Anderson, you are ready with your points? Please unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we
Yeah.
will give two, three.
Actually,
We will wait a minute. We will give 2-3 minutes more for everyone to finish. Okay, then we will start
okay,
with you.
fine.
Right.
Yeah, you asked the question that do we learn about human behavior in field work? That's am I correct?
I asked that in the field work, where you went for field work,
But
you have to.
according to myself, I did not go for learning about human behavior in field work because we didn't give it. We don't have any task or
So I will discuss with you what
for
task you
topic.
had. We'll wait for others to finish. After that, I want to discuss what tasks you had in field work and can you relate what I'm teaching? That is what we are coming to. Correct. So we will wait for 2-3 minutes
After
for
here.
others to. Okay.
Okay, okay,
We'll wait 2-3 minutes more. Let us give to everyone. Some are joining now, so they are late.
okay, fine.
Okay, so those who are joined just now, I'm repeating assignment 1, which was given yesterday evening also. Again, I'm repeating. What do you recall of what I taught in the last 2 classes? Last one, whichever one, what you remember, that you have to tell. And second, what you have to tell, that when you went for field work last year, what was the exposure like? What did you do? And was there any scope for learning or interacting with human beings and understanding human behavior? Is the question clear, Cliff, to you? Cliff Maitan? Please unmute and answer my question. Was there any scope of learning about human behavior? Now, the question is clear to everybody, I think.
Yeah, mom, it's clear.
Clear, yeah.
We're jotting up the points.
Jot it, jot. I'm waiting. It's very important, this aspect. Mariam, have you written your points? Okay, should we begin with the feedback one by one? Precious, do you know, did you attend my class yesterday? Chinyare? Okay, Francis, would you like to begin?
No, madam.
Okay, who would like to begin?
I can.
Okay, you can, please go ahead.
All right.
Tonga?
Yeah. Yes. Yesterday, we are continuing with our topic of discussion, behavior and biological changes in the human beings, and we discussed some of the attributes that contribute to personality and behavior changes as we are growing old from childhood up to adulthood. We also discussed at length the challenges of adolescence, which is a transition period from childhood to adulthood. And we also do a scenario whereby an individual was failing to be responsible for his own family, and we related that to the subject in discussion. So maybe to open the floor, that was in brief what we discussed yesterday.
Very good. Next, who will go? Mariam? Amande?
Yes.
Yes.
Good morning, ma.
Good morning.
Hello? Are you with me, ma?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we have learned that the male reproductive system and the function of the female reproductive system and the male reproductive system,
Correct.
adolescent, social adjustment,
Very good.
functioning organs of sex, social adjustment in men, menstruation,
Yes.
pregnancy,
Yes.
childbirth,
Yes.
and so on
Very good.
and so on.
Very good. Okay. Who's next?
Sorry,
Anas?
madam. Francis, mute your mic, please. Francis.
Anas, your turn.
Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon.
What I can recall from our previous studies can be like challenges to the youth and changing in a changing society.
Mhm.
Because I go over and over the issue on Saturday and Sunday, exploitation of operation in youth.
One minute. Ishaq.
Shaibu, Shaibu,
Aibu.
please.
After Anas, you switch on your audio, okay, and video also. Yes, Anas, go ahead.
Youth and sex-related issues. I
Yes.
have go over and over on it, exploration and operation in youth and strategies and suggestions of the issues that we have made. I think this is what I can recall on what we have done last at the previous classes. Ma, thank you.
Very good. Very good. Shabu, your turn. Ishaq. And then Emmanuel. Yes. Did you attend yesterday's class? Unmute yourself now, please. Switch on your audio also and video. Now he's gone. Okay, Grecian, what do you recall? Second question is coming. We are still doing first question now. Anderson, Emmanuel.
Yes, ma.
Yes, it's your turn. Switch on your video and tell me what do you recall of last two classes, and then we will do second part of the question. Yes, Danta
Okay.
Felicia is written in the chat. Good. Your turn. Everybody has to switch on the audio and the video. Where Anderson has gone? Chaima?
Hello, ma.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yesterday we was learning about the personal development in block 2,
Yes.
and after that we go into unit 2. We learn about determine personality, roles, and heredity and environment. And can I explain before just can mention in the headline or in the units?
In brief, you tell me. In brief, because second question also we will be taking.
Okay, fine, madam. So can I explain briefing in only one unit or
Whatever you remember, because it is your learning and it is feedback to all others in the group who are not remembering what they studied. So it is revision. We are doing revision for assignment, so that when you have to do the assignment, all of you are comfortable and you don't have to worry what you studied in the class. So go ahead.
Okay, so okay,
Can you
fine.
switch on
In
your
bus-
video, Anderson? Can you switch on your video? Is it possible? It's good to see
okay.
you. Then others can concentrate. Otherwise, they are all switching off audio, video. We don't know where they are. I would like to see my students.
Uh, okay, fine.
Fine. Yes. Excellent. After this, Emmanuel, your turn is coming. Okay. Yes. Now, Anderson, your turn.
Yeah. On a personal development, we're reading about definition of personality, and we discussed that personality is why they use the word as the father say of me. Madam, give me a minute. Can I give me
Yes.
comfortable because I'm not comfortable right now.
I'm giving you.
Can
I
I
can
prefer
wait. You want?
someone can take a body and they can try it next time?
Yes. Let Emmanuel say first. No problem. Emmanuel, your turn.
Okay, madam. But unfortunately, yesterday I was not in class because I was attending a funeral of my relative. So I can just
First day
contribute on
class.
a part of maybe about field work only. But yesterday I was at funeral.
Doesn't matter. Last Friday, you remember anything we who attended or forgot? Okay. No problem. Chaima, now listen carefully, Emmanuel, because they are doing revision. I will also take it from revision. Candiro,
Hi, hi, madam.
please switch. Hello.
Yeah, I can just come up with some other small things what I have remembered for yesterday. Yesterday we have
Yes.
read about some factors that can affect personality, and we were talking about environment, culture, economic things like that. That sometimes can make somebody to be affected personally. And another thing we have read about self-centered and other-centered.
Correct.
Self-centered.
Absolutely. We had a lot of discussion. Yes.
Sorry, I'm traveling. Hello.
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah, we are talking about self-centered, whereby before you entertain other-centered, you have to know yourself first. You must have pride, a proud on your own before you have entertain other people's problems. First of all, you have to solve your problems whereby you can be able to have some feelings of other people. So that's it. Thanks.
Okay. Very good. Cliff, my turn. Your turn. Cliff, are you there? Davis?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm here.
I want to see you. Yes. Excellent. Did you attend yesterday class and last Friday?
Yes, I did, but I lost connection earlier.
Any points you
I had
remember?
poor connection yesterday, so I did not capture a lot.
Any points you
But I
remember?
can at least share a few points that I learned yesterday.
Excellent.
It's about understanding a man and a woman.
Mm. Tell me. You have to unmute. Your my audio got off. You have to unmute yourself. Cliff Mython, tell somebody he has to switch on his audio. Now you tell me. Or somebody has to tell Cliff to switch on audio. Okay. Dente Felicia has written her points. Chipiliro, did you attend class yesterday and last Friday? Do you recall anything we are discussing part 1 of feedback? Chipiliro, Michael? Chilirani?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Can we get feedback of the last 2 classes? Do you recall anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Switch on
could.
your video also. Very good.
All
Yes,
right.
tell me.
Yeah, from Friday,
Mm.
we had a class which says the human growth, I think is whereby we are discussing the reproductive system of a male and also the reproductive system of a female.
Mm.
Yeah, and also we tackle the adolescence stage.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's all. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Stephen, Stephen Chunga, you remember anything? Shabu Ishaq, Jimmy Bryan. Jimmy, can you switch on your video?
Yes, ma.
Yes. Can we get feedback?
Uh, ma, what can I talk about?
Did you attend class? Yes. Did you attend class yesterday and last Friday?
Yes, ma. I attended class yesterday, but I did not get class last Friday because I did not get any alert from my Gmail. That's why, ma. So
Okay.
yesterday
Yesterday,
I
do you
attended
remember
class.
anything? Yeah. Yesterday, did you understand anything I have taught?
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
That's what we want to know, what you understood. Did you read the
I
module,
understand.
that book?
No, ma. I did not get a chance to read that book, but I
Okay.
will try to
So, yes. So
to
today
read.
you have to read it after 5 o'clock because tomorrow again I will ask the same question.
Okay, okay, ma. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Yes.
Mm.
Chaima, you want to say anything before Davis and Cliff Myton? Yes, Chipiliru, you want to add? Zimba?
Yeah. Yes, yes. Yesterday we learned about personality, whereby we say personality is the way how people look at you, which
Yes.
include the integrity, values, and also we tackle several things that are connected with the personality, whereby there is a culture. Yeah, in culture, I understand that culture is unborn, which means a baby cannot born with culture. Culture just we are just inherited from parents, and from when the child is growing, is when he or she inherit the culture. As time goes, that can add up to his or her personality.
Very good. Very good.
That's
Thank
it.
you. That's important. So second question I have given you that last year you have gone for field work. Yes. Now each one. Yes, Kalipa, what do you want to say now? Please add it. It is your turn. Pilirani,
Yes, ma.
go ahead.
Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, I just want before we proceed, I just want to contribute a little. What I've learned yesterday and Friday. Friday, we learn about the
You
development
can
of a
switch on your
person.
video. Is it possible to switch on your video?
Yeah, it's on my
Kalipa?
video. It's on.
No, I can't see you. I can't see you. So I wanted to see you. Some
Okay, now
problem with the
I'm using two. I'm using
go
two
ahead.
devices. I'm using the phone to speak and the laptop for a video. My phone can't take a video.
Doesn't matter. You go ahead.
Okay. So we learn about how development of a person, of being a male, female, what impact they bring, and why we should learn that as a social worker. He said that we are learning that because we'll be working with different people in the field, the medical staff, so we have to understand each other when we are speaking, when we are giving directives. Yeah, on yesterday, you talk of human development.
Correct.
There is a biological factor which affect the personality of a person and culture, which also affect the character of a person. Uh, you also contrast and compare the word growth and development. Uh,
Very good.
where growth is, you say it's quantitative, quantitative, while development is qualitative and uh, quantitative. So yeah, that's what I've learned yesterday.
Very good. Thank you. Yes, Mahmood, it's your turn now. You can switch on your video. Is it possible? Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Good day, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Especially, I'm using two devices as well. My personal computer were having issue with the camera, so I'm just using
But
the phone to
put
record
your
the
mic
video.
little bit in front. We can't hear you clearly, huh? Now. Okay.
Okay. Am I audible enough now?
I don't know. Some noise is coming. Is it everybody can hear?
Okay. Might off
No,
now. Okay now.
his mic has got a problem.
There's a problem. Maybe you switch off then your video and only audio you say. Let's see.
Okay.
Something is the problem. Yesterday you were very clear. Yes. Now let's try again.
Okay. Am I audible enough now?
Now better.
Better, much better.
It's better, right?
Yes, better.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yesterday I was not able to be available on Friday, but yesterday I was in the session and I have grasped some things, and among which I understood yesterday during the session was the human development, where from the infancy to middle age to teenage age to adulthood and all the stages where human perception, understanding, and comprehension keep changing according to the person's growing up and maturity. And also we were able to share some of the experiences we had when we are in the fields where me and some of my classmates here share experience of how we experienced some things in the field when we went for a project where we have different experiences on how to communicate with the victims, how to be with them, and all of that. And also, I understand how self-centered and other-centered works. That's how you prioritize something that is best for your own goodness, and then how you can also help some people at the other-centered. So these are some of the things I grasped yesterday. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Pilirani, you want to say something, Kalipa? Anything more? Okay, the second question I asked, I'm repeating for everybody that where we went for fieldwork last year, that you have to narrate individually by switching on your video and audio. And was there any scope of your interacting with any human clients? Did you learn anything about human behavior, which in last two classes you may remember that, okay, this was what I understood from last year's fieldwork journey? Is my question clear? Emmanuel, where did you go for fieldwork?
Yeah, it's clear.
And so we have to answer one by one. And what did you learn? Was there any scope of any human behavior? Was any human behavior available to us for us to ponder over, think about, now discuss, reflect? Reflection is a very important part of a social worker's journey. If we are trying to do reflection now, learning about human behavior and personality is one thing. Now we are reflecting our understanding from our fieldwork journey last year, or from any other projects or experiences like Mahmood and others shared yesterday. Any such experiences, any experience which you would like to share with 20 classmates? That is the place I'm giving you now. And then I will proceed only.
Okay, ma. Let me share mine.
Yes, sir.
Um, for me, I went to. I I don't know if I'm audible enough.
Very clear.
Okay, fine.
Absolutely. Nice. Please.
Okay, fine. I visited a children organization, an orphanage. There, I went there to appreciate how they take care of the orphans, how they recruit the orphans, their strategy of taking the orphans into the programs, how they provide the mental support. Just because there are other children whereby their parents they died. Of course, the other children whose parents they cannot be able to take care of them. So I went there to understand how they take care of them mentally, psychologically, physically, and also they also provide education to the children. So there, I was given an opportunity to interact with the children. It was a wonderful interaction. The children were able to share their experiences, how the orphanage is taking care of them, in terms of giving them the basic necessities. Um, there, I also learned the best way, the best way how to approach children, because they are children. That means they understand things very easily. So I was being helped to interact with them, asking them about how they are living at the orphanage, and also um, I was given a chance to help them in what do you call these activities, sports activities. Yeah, trying to make sure that their brain is much flexible. Um, since I also know some few things about agriculture. There are some children who are old enough. I asked the authorities of the school for to construct a small garden whereby the youth children also be learning about a few things about agriculture. There, I taught them how to grow vegetables. Few that, of course, there are some students. I mean, there are some orphans who are about they could easily grasp what I was telling them. So that was all about. Of course, the other points, but let me just stop there from for now.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Yes, Anas, you would like to go next? That's Emmanuel has shared his experience. Now I think Anas has raised his hand, and then Pilirani after that. Where's Anas? He has raised his hand. Okay, Pilirani, you go first. I don't know where is Anas now. He has raised his hand. One by one, we need feedback about your fieldwork journey last year. Please switch on your camera. Very good.
Hello, Doc.
Yeah, we can't hear you. Is there a problem with the mic or others can hear Pilirani? Kalipa?
Can you hear me?
No. No. Means I can hear, but it is not clear. Can others hear clearly? Let me check my volume. Okay, speak again, please, Pilirani. Yes,
Can you
better.
hear me now? Better, yeah?
Yeah, much better. Now it's fine. Now it's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
I went to do my practicum at Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital at 5B. I had a case study which involved Mrs. Majika. Sh It was her husband who was like needing the medical attention. So I approached her for my study to ask her what brought her to the hospital and the likes, and she seemed to be dumb of what the doctors or the hospital was doing to or to her. So ask her why, like you're not having the information of your treatment. So she answered me that she's afraid to approach the medical personnel. So I asked her why you're afraid. They say nothing for no reason. So I did to understand that she was afraid because of the culture taught us to be uh, irrespective of the authority. So she was quiet, not asking because of she was trying to be respectful. So uh, I had to encourage her to know the treatment and the likes. So, connection to yesterday's. So, Kaja also model her the way she behaved in at places where she needed help. So it was my duty and my job to show her the direction and to show her the ways and show her what she should do until she was helped and she knows she knew what her husband the treatment that her husband was supposed to receive and what she should do. Uh, that's how I learned during my break time. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, Anas, your turn next. Anas,
Hello, ma'am.
yes.
At the last semester, we have two field works. The first
Okay.
one is 20 visits to organizations, and it's just a visit. And the second one is visit to 5 organizations and 15 concurrent visits to only one organization among the 5 that we visited.
Excellent.
And at the first semester, I visit a hospital in order to do my field work. I face a lot of problems with the hospital management
Okay.
because I did not such kind of a problem that I did not cross such kind of a problem where I went to ask for a data in a hospital. They told me that I have to go back to the health department in the local government to give me a letter before I get a data from the hospital. That makes me to feel angry, but because I'm the one that is I'm the one that wants something from them. I just cool my mind, and later the chief executive officer of the hospital called me and told me that I should be sorry. He connect me with one of the officials in the hospital to go and do my field work. I do my field work in tuberculosis center inside the
Right.
hospital, and I appreciate how they interact with the people that they are caring, and I learned a lot of things from them. Because after the problem that I faced from the first visit, at the end we interact and laugh with them because they understand what brings me to the hospital. And at the end, they told me that if I come back, they'll give me a chance to do whatever I want because they have understand what bring me to them.
Right.
So the interactions that comes between me and them make me to learn more about in social and in the visit in the hospital. That's what I learned from my project. Thank you, ma.
Very, very good. Thank you. Okay, Mahmood, your turn. After that, uh, Chakma.
Okay. We all have our own different experiences, and
Yes.
because we have different organizations to visit, and then each one of them have its own challenges and problems or issues to face. One of the challenges I faced last session was I went to a counseling unit in a college of education in one of the state in Yobe State in Nigeria here. So when I went there, I want to understand how does the counseling session works and what are the experiences there, what are the things they're experiencing, and to just to share and just share experiences about how they used to work with their students or those that are in need of counseling. But to my surprise, when I talked to the counselors, They were complaining that the students or the people that are in need of that counseling services don't patronize the services. I asked them why. They said they don't even know because they don't. The student don't understand what it means to have a counselor. So I just said I cannot conclude based on what I heard from the one party. Let me also incur from the other sides. So I went to the students because a friend of mine is lecturing in that school. So I asked him if there would be possibility for me to interact with the student in their classes, and he said yes, there's no problem. I can come and ask them and talk to them. So I visited them. I talked to them and asked why are they not going for counseling? Do they even know what is mental health? Do they know about depression and all these things? All these things that is happening in this country, we need to be counseled. We need to be mentored on how to take care of our mental health. Why are they not going there? To my surprise, the guys don't even know that there is a counseling session in the school. Most of the guys, most of the male students. But then for the female students, most of them used to complain that the people that the counselors in the counseling session used to they used to experience some kind of molestation or attempt of raping from them. That's why they don't patronize the place. So according to how I concluded is there are, they used to say one bad egg can
Yes.
spoil the rest of the eggs. So there are some bad people within the counselors that used to um, do some bad things to the students, which makes them not to be patronizing that counseling services. And then they are not even experienced people. They don't even know what they are doing. They don't even know how to counsel. They are just there as a department. They are just collecting their salaries by the month ends. They don't even care. They don't even bother if the students used to come and patronize the services. So I wanted to see to find a way to communicate with the provost, the head of the school. And when I went there, he says, these counseling services, he knows what it is, he has experience on how it rolls, but they are not willing to make it work because even the curriculum, the school curriculum and how they teach the student is not okay, is not well structured. It's just like a borrowed something from other country, and then we are just using it here. So nothing in the school is up to standard. Not to talk of counseling session. The students are not even well structured. The curriculum is an alien curriculum, so they don't even have structured. Nothing is structured in the school. Not to talk of how to patronize the counseling services. So this is one of the things I experienced then. But then I come back and then start preparing on how I can go to the school and do my own personal project on how to encourage the students to patronize the counseling services and also how to encourage the school authority to develop that center and make it work so that everybody can benefit, both the lecturers, the students, and also the teachers. So I'm still working on that. It's just a prototype I'm developing, and I'll go back to that school once it is well structured and see how far I can go with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing. Yes, Sungane. Sungane, how you pronounce your name? Chakana, your turn now. Then Michael Simba, then Davis Puri. Can you switch on your video, Sungane?
Hi everyone.
Yes.
Hi
I
everyone.
can't see you. Hi.
Okay.
Can
Okay.
can huh?
Am I audible?
Okay. Yes, yes, very well.
Yes.
All right.
Nice to see you.
My just experience during the time of visitation, I had a chance to go to certain organization called the Samaritan Trust in Blantyre. There, that's when I experienced what you call home visitation and the uh, what do you call counseling at the this one what do you call yeah
Yeah.
this we say it's I can pronounce it as it's a counseling, but it's not a counseling as you know. It's what you call case management. Yeah. So there we had a privilege to see the children. Actually, the organization structure was aimed at connecting the street kids, giving the chance and choice. whereby we catch the street kids, and then we have to share the opportunity where they can go further with their careers, or maybe education, or maybe skilled work, vocation, and likes. So there we had a certain child whereby he was coming from commercial city of Malawi, which is Lilongwe, and then he has to find in Blantyre, where he was just walking in the streets. So we had advising her to do some other issues with case management, and then we we ask we ask we ask her to at least maybe to have a choice on the career, whereby she chooses to do tailoring. Uh, my observation is that the children, the street kids especially, they find a lot of things while they are in transit. It's either maybe drug, the traffickers, they can use them, or else maybe they can use the child abuse. Can be one of the issues, and maybe other countries maybe can be child soldiers. But here in Malawi, we only experience child trafficking, child labor. That's the main issues we experience. So when I look into that, the girl, she used to stay with her mom, but the only problem with their mom was a stepmom. So the work which she used to work, it's not the light work which we know. Actually, she had to work overwork. She was working maybe contrary to light work. You know, light work, it's a simple work regarding to the child, the status she is. So she has been also abusing in the child traffic. Yes, she has been hired to go to certain clubs, maybe to do prostitution, like prostitution, but be forced. So we have been advising her, and we've been discussing other issues, maybe to go further with tailoring or else education. So the main issue we are discussing that time, it was concerning their status, the heavy status which she had. Actually, she was positive. So when we look into that, no one has been a guardian since then, because she was just like an orphan. She just walked anyhow. So issues of HIV has to be followed with the proper procedure of medication and other stuff. So from there, we had to go to hospital, but before that, we had to counseling. We had to do with counseling issues, so that maybe she can really understand what it is all about, and how she can be preventing, and what the steps to be followed, maybe to be like. So the street kids mostly whenever they are in streets, and we try to convince them to be maybe at home, it will be another issues we need to do with. So we had to do that, and we write the case study. And after writing the case study, that's when we submit the case study to our boss, and then she satisfied with that, and she had to take an action, maybe to do what we call home visitation, whereby we had to go to her home and see the situation which she faced. Well, she had a state map. That's what we had, and we discussed from there, and we had to write the report, and we had to file it. That's what my experience during the visitation which we had last time. Thank you.
Thank you. So when you are narrating in so much detail, I'm encouraging others also. You have to review your experience in the light of this understanding we are trying to develop about human behavior. So when you are reflecting, please also try and bring that aspect. Now, Michael Simba, your turn, and then Davis Puri. Are you there?
Oh, okay, okay,
Okay.
well,
Okay, please switch on your video. Michael Simba.
Welcome, ma'am. Are you hearing me? Thank
Yes,
thank you
yes,
so
yes.
much.
We can see you and hear you.
My contribution will
Yes.
be very short. I had the opportunity during my field work time
of which I visited one of the largest district hospital. At this field, I had the opportunity to visit a lot of places or sections. But at that time, I had the opportunity to visit one of the children ward, and which you had the situation whereby a certain child was in a critical condition, that there was a need for, she was a girl, for under 5, was appropriate to be put on the oxygen. But because of the culture, the belief, the religious belief that the parents of the child had, they were paying the resistance to the plan that were made by the doctors. It took a certain counseling session, a period of time, quite closer to 15, 20 minutes, discussing with them, but the resistance were keeping going on. So it was the tough time whereby the child was not really in a good mood, was very close. So they tried here and there, conversating with them, asking them and begging them to allow them to put this child on oxygen machines, but the resistance were quite great. Until finally, I had the intention myself that I'm doing social work, so this is my chance that I should have to focus or to try myself to practice on conversating or counseling somebody upon a situation like this one, whereby the resistance is a bit great and the life of the child is in danger, that at any time we can lose the child. So I had the time to implore the doctors to allow me to conversate or to counsel those parents. They had the opportunity to give me the opportunity to go through. I had the session with them. I counseled them for maybe 20 minutes again, until finally they had allowed me to conversate with the doctors to come with the remedy that they had on putting the child on the oxygen. It was a great experience, a great achievement from me. Within the conversation that I made with them, within the achievement that I had, that I satisfied them until finally allowing the child to be put on the oxygen, I took it to be a great achievement, and I had the experience out of the field work that has been highlighted on the tapestry of the human culture and the profound influence on culture and the norms, behavior that their parents had in resisting whatsoever the plan were done by the doctors. And I understand and respect the differences, that it is very crucial in providing every kind of effective support in every type of intervention that we made at the social workers. Here is my contribution. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Okay, Davis, your turn now. Are you there? Davis had raised. We switch on your video. Davis has left, is it? I think Davis has left because Davis raised a hand. Anybody else wants to contribute to your feedback about fieldwork which you had, which you can link to what we are discussing now in terms of human growth and behavior, personality development? For those who missed the class, I'm quickly rushing through some of the slides which I have repeated in the middle of my presentation. I'm thankful to you for sharing your fieldwork journey, and I'm hoping that you would be able to relate it and future fieldwork journey to your understanding of human behavior. So we had started with prenatal development, the period from fertilization to birth, comprising of 3 stages. This is a repetition for those who missed the class and revision for those who attended the class. So period of zygote, period of the embryo, and period of the fetus. We also discussed briefly the influences during prenatal stage, that is the nutrition of the mother, maternal nutrition, the age of the mother, younger women, older women, middle-aged women, how it impacts childbirth. This was not discussed in detail, but these are aspects which you need to dwell upon. Read up in the module which I have shared with you called BSW-124, Human Growth, Behavior and Counseling. You can download it. Some students have already downloaded it. So the prenatal stage depends on the rest, the exercise, the nutrition which the mother gets, the blood group of the mother, any addictions known or unknown which the mother might be undertaking, which will affect the fetus and subsequently the newborn baby, any disease knowingly or unknowingly which the mother must be having can impact the child, and if any stress of any kind, physical stress, psychological stress, social stress, stress caused during, if the woman is working, if there's any conflict in the house, if there is any other issue which is impacting, it will all impact maternal stress and subsequently the baby which is to be born. Babyhood, as we discussed, is the foundation for development during the entire lifespan. The physical and intellectual development takes place during babyhood. As the child grows up, there is space for increased individuality and independence, which the child develops in crawling, trying to stand up, walking, taking few steps, taking more steps, trying to walk with the help of adults and caregivers, trying to walk independently, toilet training. All of this is part of growing up in babyhood. The socialization begins through the child being introduced to his siblings, if there are any, to neighbors, to parents, to caregivers, to extended family members. Some children are put in creche facility, daycare facility because their parents are going to work and they need help to look after the baby. The sex role typing begins. You are a boy, you are a girl, you should do this, you should play games, you should play with dolls, you should play with toys. Different communities and different social circles do stereotyping. Nowadays, technology is teaching us how not to do stereotyping of boys and girls. But the fact is that babyhood involves physical development, speech development, emotional development, social development through play, and subsequently the personality of the child begins to develop. Early childhood has these five major components. For those of you who mentioned that you work with street children, for those of you who mentioned that you work with children, for those of you who mentioned that you worked with adolescents, if we look back and reflect, which I was trying to attempt you to do, then the physical development, the speech development, the emotional development, the personality development, and the moral development. These five aspects are very, very integral to personality development. From babyhood, the child moves to late childhood. We mentioned this yesterday also. I'm repeating it in another form so that you can be motivated to read the module and get more detailed information. The developmental tasks involve the child learning to get along with the mates of his own age group, of neighbors, of siblings, tries to develop basic skills of reading, writing, and arithmetic, develops concepts necessary for everyday living, is introduced to eating, so food, items in the household, all the objects, surroundings, and environment. The parents try to relate so that the child is acclimatized to his surroundings and develops that this is a table, this is a chair, this is an apple, this is my mother, this is the refrigerator, this is the washroom, this is the kitchen. So, what concepts, beginning of developing concepts of everyday living are part of late childhood. The child also begins to develop a conscience, what is right, what is wrong. All these values begin to be taught in the house. Subsequently, attitudes begin to develop through social groups, through institutions. The family is an institution, the school is an institution, daycare center is an institution. And the child in its growing up learns physical skills and also develops social roles. How should I behave with my brother, with my sister, with my father, with my mother, with my grandparents, with my neighbors, with a stranger, in the community, if there is a community function going on? All these social skills are taught in late childhood. So, what are the skills which the child develops in late childhood? As mentioned yesterday, also briefly, self help skills are taught, social skills that we need to help each other, we can take help, we can give help, school skills of reading, writing, painting, drawing, cooking, uh, develop playing with toys, playing outside, play skills, and emotions also develop during late childhood. Now, I am going to continue completing my presentation and come back to the other students who have not yet shared. So, don't think that you are just going to forget about it. I have noted down which students have shared their fieldwork journey with me and which students are left. So, I am giving you a break. In 10 minutes, I will come back to those of you who have not shared. It is give and take. If we are expecting personality development and going to treat patients and clients, we need to give and take with each other. Our growing up adulthood on this online platform requires that we learn from each other. Is that agreeable with all of us? Are you getting what I'm trying to say? That learning is not only for undertaking outside, also for establishing the norms for ourselves. How comfortable are we in exchanging our own journeys, personal and professional? Like you shared your fieldwork journey, that was very, very good, very, very encouraging. I'm sure the other students who heard you have learned a lot from your experience. So, I'm sharing my emotions and my professional journey with you, and also encouraging you to share yours. So the 11 years period, which is termed as late childhood, is also the pre-adolescent stage. Children are in their formative years of primary education. Freud called it the latency period, which is marked by changes in the interest of the child. So sometimes some children have 8, 9, 10 years, say we want to be a doctor or an engineer or a farmer or a technician, but sometimes in adolescence they change, or in adult age they change. That no, that's what I thought 5 years ago. That was my pre-adolescent stage. Now I think differently. The exposure that I have got makes me look outwards. Focus shifts from family to friends to peers. Friend circle become more important. Children love to hang out with their friends rather than with their parents. They like to hang out with friends who have common interests. So these things we need to reflect on when we engage with children in our fieldwork spaces. Children of this age also try new experiments and they take risks. Parents many times find it difficult that they are full of energy, their children, and how to channelize their energies constructively. Even in organizations, you will find, if you're working with children, that how do you channelize their energies? So most parents try hard that their children's talents, they can find out what their talents are, what they are interested in. Is it music? Is it dance? Is it sports? Is it physical activities? It is indoor activities. Some children are inclined to social work from a very early age. Some children get into volunteer work. Like during COVID times, many children also were involved with their parents in reaching out to others in need. When they saw their elderly parents engage in distributing rations or other helping other neighbors who might have been taken ill, they also contributed and learned social skills during that stage. Am I clear so far what I'm trying to say? Yes?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are. You are.
Yes. So during adolescence, as mentioned by all of you, and again, revision for those who didn't attend yesterday's class, adolescence means to grow up, to mature. And it is the space between childhood and adulthood. Mostly, it is in the age range of 12 to 19 years. As mentioned by you, we begin to come to terms with our own bodies growing up and accepting the changes in our body. We begin to develop new social relations. There is a maturity in the social relations. When we say, oh, he's such a child, now he's talking like an adolescent. Oh, he's beginning to understand All these comes with maturation, maturing. Even our social relationships mature with age. It is the time when we begin to select what career we will get into. The training for our career also begins to be discussed. Many families encourage discussion about careers. Career counseling takes place in many schools and colleges at this stage. And we also need to understand that desiring, accepting, and achieving socially responsible behavior is a very integral part of adolescence. It is during adolescence that the child begins to understand that I need to be emotionally independent and subsequently economically independent if I want to contribute to my family income. It is my responsibility to look after myself and, if possible, to contribute to my family's income. Many children take up jobs, as I mentioned, if they have more siblings or any of the family member requires that they take up jobs, then they contribute sooner than required in assisting the finances of the family. It is also a time when self identity begins to develop. And yesterday, what we discussed, that is it self interest? Is it taking care of others' interest? How does that pendulum swing? Only when we are able to develop our own self identity will we able to value others identity, respect the identity of the other individual, whether they are our siblings, our neighbors, our classmates, our friends, our not so friendly friends. We need to respect others even when they may have a different point of view or they may have a different perspective to things. It is during adolescence that there is a lot of storm and stress. If we all remember our adolescence, we have sometimes got into conflict with our family members because of our values or because we want to do things differently from our family members, or our parents may have a certain set of values. Our older brother or sister may say something, but we may differ. So the storm and stress during adolescence is very natural in the growing up stage. During adulthood, the growth is complete. The person assumes social responsibilities. It varies between 18 years and 45 years. Developmental tasks are complete. Mostly, we have assumed a certain status in society. We have assumed a certain role and a position in our society. We have taken up some job or got into some business venture or assisting our parent in what work they are doing. The role of worker. What does it mean to be a worker, an employee, being answerable to someone? We may have a boss, we may have an employer, we may have other people working in teams with us. What does it mean to work in teams? All this happens during adulthood. Many times we choose our partners during adulthood. They could be marriage, it could be a live in relationship, it could be other kinds of relationships. All the exploration happens during adulthood as well in this day and age. And we need to accept the changes which are happening in our society as a result of that. Middle age is the intermediary stage between adulthood and old age. It is the period of transition from adulthood to old age. It is characterized by achievements professionally or otherwise. Personally, also, we may have achieved something during our adulthood, and many people during middle age feel very proud of their achievements. So, at another stage, although there is pride in having done a good job, a good career, having made some financial gains, having bank balance, making a family, looking after our elderly parents, but there is also something called middle age crisis. Have any of you heard of what is middle age crisis? Midlife crisis? Do you think any of your parents are going through midlife crisis? I'm pausing here to ask you this question before I proceed. Anybody heard this term before, midlife crisis? No?
No, we haven't.
So then I'm giving you some, uh, so, so write it down as some homework that you are going to do. And tomorrow we will discuss it. Because if I give you all the answers, then you will not do any homework. You will not read the module. You will not go to the internet and ask some questions. I want you to do that. Right? Otherwise, you are feeling lazy. Yes, Mahmoud, you want to say
Excuse
something?
me?
Yes.
Yes, yes. I didn't get the question. The question, ma. Please, can you come
The,
again with the question? Thank
the
you.
question is, what is midlife crisis? Have you heard this term before? Midlife crisis or middle age crisis? Yes, Francis, you can go ahead.
All right. Midlife crisis or middle age crisis is more of a psychological phenomenon uh,
Mm-hmm.
whereby an individual may find it difficult to actualize himself, the achievements of life, and getting old. For
Mm,
example, one may wish to say, by the time I get 40, I'll have a master's degree, I'll have a PhD degree. Then life turned upside down. Maybe by 40, you don't even have the first degree. So you try to relate the remaining years and what you have achieved in the past years, and you feel like, no, I can't achieve this because maybe I'm old or the opportunities are open to the younger people than that posed to me. So it's more of psychological. It's not actually real because anyone can start from where you realize that I failed, and you can move on. So I believe this is where now the social worker comes in to say, no, this is an opportunity. You can start at 40, you can start at 45, at 50, at 60. We have seen Nigeria electing a president older than 70. So you see that life can start anywhere. It is just a matter of a psychological phenomenon that we need to understand.
okay, Mahmoud, what would you like to say then? Or works turn, Jacob's turn after that. Yes.
Yes, I just want to add to what my colleague here, Francis, made mention. It's
Mm,
more, yes, completely. It's more like a psychological phenomenon. But then, at the middle age, that's where most of the people lose it because they don't have like a mentor. They don't have a career-wise decision. I could remember somewhere around last year, I carried out a research project for a firm in London, and we did the research in one of the states here in Nigeria, in Kaduna State, and then what they want is to have what is wrong with people that before going to higher institution they have a different mentality that if I go to higher institution I want to become a lawyer, so I want to study law, or I want to become a pharmacist or a medical doctor. But then during the school age, while in the school, the mentality or the perceptions begins to change. Be thinking like, okay, no, I don't think this is for me. I am in the wrong place. I am in the wrong place. So even if I become a lawyer, I'm not going to practice. I will not be going to court. Rather, I will just be doing uh, maybe a community service with my skills, giving a pro bono services in the community or something like that. But then still, these two changes, perceptions changes. But then after the school, when the person realized that there's no job at ground, there's no work, then his perception or his thinking will also shift to,
right.
okay, since there's no job, how am I going to create job for myself and for my family, for stability or sustainability of the people around me?
Mm,
So it's just like a crisis because there was no career guidance and there was no mentor close by to put those people in line. So they
right.
begin to think that, okay, as soon as I reach 25 or 20, the nature is going to favor me. But then afterwards, they realize that, okay, the nature is not on my side, but then they begin to shift their thinking and then try to develop another kind of career wise or nature wise to also adopt or match it with reality and then make it work in their own way or something. So it's more like a lack of stability of choices,
Mm,
uh,
mm,
sustainability of mindset to be in the same direction. Because that I could remember there was a time I was doing a career guidance in secondary school students, in high school student. But then the problem I used to have is some of them, their parents already choose what they want to become in the future. Some of them
correct.
don't even have parents to be even or guidance to be putting them through. So it become like a challenge for us because we don't know what to guide these people. Because no matter what we put to their heads, if they go home, it will be it will be more like a brainwashed. They want to become lawyers, but then their parents want them to become doctors. So it's more like
Correct.
a challenge for them. It's one of the middle age crises I've experienced so far. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Yes, Jacob, you wanted to say something very valuable. I want to see you also. You can switch on your video.
Yes,
Where is
yes.
Jacob
Good
gone?
afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Am I
You can
heard?
switch on your. Yeah, heard. You are heard. We want to
Yes.
see you. Yes, yes, yes.
According to my understanding, I think middle age. m- I think okay. I said middle age crisis. According to me, it's a psychological dilemma whereby an
Okay.
adult may see that he has failed to achieve some of his plan or his objectives. Like when you're still an adult, you may wish to accomplish something. But when you're in your middle age, you will see that your time you're getting old and you have not yet achieved. So you feel like you're fighting the past and the dream that actually you had when you were still a youth, when you were still an adult. So you see the time
Right.
remaining is too minute that you may not achieve. And at the end of it all, it may bring emotional changes and also this other aspect of physical changes. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Mariam, I was saying that I am encouraging you to read this module when I finish today. But I'm also saying that those of you who didn't share your fieldwork experiences, once I finish my presentation today, I will be taking feedback from those students. Right? Is it clear? Yes, Chipiliro. Very nice to hear you. Please go ahead.
Uh, middle life crisis, just to add up to what others have said, it's reflecting from what has happened in the 30 centuries, 50 ago. So you reflect what have I achieved during what you wanted to do or what career you have set. So when you are reflecting, you say, I wanted to, by this age, I wanted to have a PhD or I wanted to have a first degree, but I didn't manage anything. So it will end up a person to change a career. Maybe I should try this. Maybe I can achieve by the end of this time I'm left with. Thank you.
Right. Right. Very good. Does anyone else want to say anything more? I will be coming back to you, but I'm glad that we discussed this because it will also help you to read further in the module that what are the physical changes, emotional changes, and social changes taking place in middle age, which lead us, does there is any deterioration in our health or in our thought process or in our way of looking at the world, and what is empty nest syndrome when we are 30 years old or 25 years old and maybe beginning adulthood, we tell our parents that, oh, we will make a life better than yours. But when we actually reach middle age, sometimes we are told we have become like our parents, and our children tell us, oh, you have become like my grandparents, you are behaving exactly like them, you have so many insecurities, fears. So the next small word we're asking, what is emptiness syndrome? When our children grow up, do you encounter anybody in the communities that they say, now my children have grown up and they will leave the house, and what, how will I manage on my own? All my life I have done everything only for my children. Have you heard this anytime? Think about it and tell me.
Yes, ma'am. It is common in our setups.
Is that so? What if you are confronted by someone like that? How would you deal with it? What will be your approach in dealing with this part of middle age crisis?
Technically, it's challenging considering that it has overstayed the welcome. You know, we inherit this talk from our parents, grandparents, Um, yes, they are entitled to guide us, but sometimes it goes more of a tradition to say you have to work hard so that you should be a better person than me, or else if you don't work hard, I'll continue to be better than you. It has been more of an oral culture throughout different cultures. So this time around, it's a pay by time, it's a payback time from especially the children trying to irritate their parents or other caretakers to say, okay, you said you're going to be better than us. Look at us, we are better than you in the other land, but on another 10, it will be the parents now mocking this young under to say, okay, I told you to work hard. Look where you are now. So to intervene in such a matter is to maybe start explaining how life stages goes, their successes and their challenges and their failures in life. And one has to first count the small things that you have achieved instead of always dreaming of, I wanted to be this, I wanted to be this. The first step is to say, okay, at least I have a house, I have a job. Even if it's not a good job, but at least I'm working. I can be able to meet the daily needs. Maybe as a social worker, I would start from there to say, okay, let us look first. What is it that we have achieved, and let's celebrate these things first before we worry about the things that we didn't achieve.
What do others think about Francis? What Francis has told us, is that relevant? Is that how we look at it? Empty nest syndrome. Anybody seen that in their homes or in their communities or in their fieldwork journeys? Or you think that we might have this kind of experience? Will we know what to do about it if we are confronted as a social worker?
Okay, I think I didn't get the questions right. Can you repeat the questions? Thank you.
Yes, the question is that what is the meaning of empty nest syndrome? Is there any situation where, when the children grow up in our communities, uh, the they leave the house either for higher studies or for education or for jobs, or sometimes when they grow up they don't feel the need to stay back in the parents house, they make their own house, or after marriage they are leaving. So some parents say that our children were like birds in a nest, and my nest is empty. So empty nest syndrome is the term used in middle age when parents are in the 35 to 45 years age group, children are 18 to 20 and may have left home for these reasons. So what kind of adjustments take place, and does middle age impact people in that way? Is that part of midlife crisis as well? Is my question clear now?
Yes, it is.
It is. Yeah. So I was just
Okay, so
asking that anybody has any thought on that, and how
let
does
me
it work
just
in your societies and communities? Yeah.
add something to that. Okay, so regarding this emptiness syndrome, I could remember normally in our localities here, most of the time when parents reaching their old age and then the growing up children start attending schools and they have to leave the house and go to another city or another town in order to attend their schools, it will take them like maybe 3 to 4 months before coming back home to for a holiday or a summer break, or even to pay a visit to the parents. At that
Correct.
time, because of how the parents have gotten attached to their children, when
Yes.
they are separated, I could remember a friend of mine traveled to far city to study. He got sick on his first day. He spent almost 5 days in a sick bed. They have to return him back home to get well before going back to school because of how he was attached to his parent. But now he's far away. That's why most of the time here, you find out that when grandparents are getting old, they used to bring some of their grandchildren to closer to them to be
Correct.
spending time with them because they are getting old. They need some people, younger generations with fresh blood to be helping them in some house situation and also to
Yes.
feel the connection of the family. So this is something that is happening, and I think is something that has been going on for long. I could remember when growing up, I was taken to my grandmother. I've been staying with her up to date. I'm with my grandparents, even though my father passed away for a very long time, but my
Right.
mother is still alive. But then I've been living with my grandparents throughout my life for the past 20 years now.
Right.
So it's something that is already there. But as a social worker, uh, I think this is something that has to do with their own psychology and the mentality of the people living together. Because when they got so attached, whenever one is separated or is far away from one another, uh, I don't know how to put it, but then there's this
Yes.
kind of thing, emptiness that is haunting those people that they want to reconnect back together. That's why most of the time in our locality, if a lady got married, while when they are taking her to her husband's house, to the groom's house, she'll be crying, the parents will be crying because they're getting separated. It's one of the things that is happening in here. So these are
Correct.
some of the things and all of that. Yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful. Yes, Francis, this is very relevant what you are discussing now. I hope
Yes.
others are also listening, even though they are not contributing. At least I hope they are listening to your experiences because these are
Yes,
very
ma.
valuable. Yes, Francis.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Huh. Tell me.
All right. I wanted to simply to add what Mahmoud was narrating to say. I think a feeding of a loss, it's natural. It comes natural. You say when even in a marital relationship, in a sexual relationship, a feeling of loss is natural. But now I wanted to look at it to say, okay, or maybe ask the class to say, this emptiness syndrome. Who is most affected, the mother or the father? Because in our setup, it looks like most children are attached to their mother than their father. And when children, for example, are leaving the parents' house and to start their own, the most concern comes from the mother. Okay, for example, is Francis going to take his medicines when he's sick because it's difficult taking medicines? Is Francis going to speak well about others because he's too angry, he's too aggressive? We have to control him. How is he going to relate with others? Is he not going to come back in a casket after being beaten by angry people? So these are the things that most affects our parents as we are departing from their homes. But now I was simply curious to say, is it the same with our setup to say mothers suffers the most than fathers? Because fathers are mostly providers. They'll be at work, they'll be doing others, they'll be drinking beer somewhere else. But it appears that mothers are affected most than fathers. I want to learn from my peers to say
Yeah, they have
what
to
is the
they have
situation.
to they have to say now. This is a very valid question. So they
Yes.
have to speak up now. Your classmates should speak up. This is very valuable discussion because my narrating the sequence of events is very simple, but this discussion is very valuable. Yes, Emmanuel, very happy. Please go ahead. Emmanuel, then Chipilero. Yeah.
Okay, let me just add up to what my colleague has said. Of course, it depends with the culture. For example, here in Malawi, I've got this culture whereby it's called lobola, whereby a man has to pay a ransom. A man has to pay an amount of money in order to marry a woman. So, um, whenever this emptiness has happened, it means whenever something has been, for example, death, divorce, it means the children, they are going to be of the fathers. That means there'll be much connection to the father's home than to the woman. So, and also the other point is that the emptiness is felt much on the mother because of the connection that is there naturally, because it's a woman that gives birth, it's a woman that's breastfeed the child. So that feeling of emptiness is much it affects much mothers than men, just because of the the culture, as I've already said, I has given an example, and also the natural connection that is there. Just because it's a woman that gives birth, and it's a woman that breastfeeds the child, it's a woman that feeds the child. I mean, so many things. So that's the point that I wanted to add. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Chipilero, what is your point? Yes. Chipilero, wanted to say something.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I think according to my understanding, I think both be affected. Let me bring it out like a case study whereby John and Mary were married, and they had two children, of which they struggled and they educated them. After reaching so far to go to the college, the two children move out from the house and they go
Yes.
to the different cities, whereby the parents inside the house they will feel sadness because they will think of the home which was full of with the full of noise of children. Now it's quiet. They will be like the two parents, they are left alone as before, which will bring as an empty home.
Right. Right. Yes, Emmanuel, you want to add something here? Ilirani, please go ahead.
Okay, emptiness syndrome. Okay, will affect mostly mothers because mothers they are likely to stay at home. Like in our society, there are few mothers that they have a career or they work. So most of men they are in the afternoon occupied with other stuff. When they go home, maybe they don't pray for the children. The attachment of the children is not that much compared to the mothers.
Hello.
Uh,
Yes. Can you hear me? Yeah. Pilirani wanted to say something.
okay.
Hello.
Hello,
Okay.
can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes, I can hear.
Okay, I was saying that the emptiness syndrome will mostly affect the women like mothers because they are the one that they stay at home with the children, maybe the family, they care for everyone emotionally, they are attached. Yeah, compared to men, men usually like they wake up in the morning, go to work, meet other people, run their business. Yeah. So they usually come at night when they are tired. They don't like get to pray for the children much. They just know that we have this kid. Did you go to school? Did you have a school fees? That's the only thing that they concern mostly in this society of ours, mostly in Africa.
Okay.
So they affect mostly women. So for this when it happen, uh, as a social worker, I will encourage a woman or in that state to find other new hobbies or new challenges in the society, maybe to volunteer somewhere, uh, for her not to spend much time at home thinking of the emptiness of the house. Maybe I'll join other groups so that she can uh, put her time at some other value things in the society.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So I'll finish this presentation now and then answer your questions. Finally, we are coming to old age, the period of decline in physical strength and social participation. It may be coming with disability, it may be coming with disease, it may come with dependence and subsequently death. Disease can come in middle age also, but these 4 Ds in old age are definitely part of most old age, aging population. So the physical changes in the body, that the body may become weak, the psychological changes which are coming from middle age, which are already emerging in middle age, become strengthened in old age. Social changes, having to rely on other people, knowing that we have given over to the next generation, that we are growing old, that hits aging people. They know that other people are talking about them like, oh, they are elderly, They are walking slowly. They have to sit down more often. They cannot rush. They cannot be so active. They are no longer that alert. All these comments come knowingly or unknowingly from family and friends, and they impact the elderly. This is very important for us to understand when we work with the elderly. Now, the last unit, 4 theories of personality, we are coming to. The 4 major theorists which you will read in the module are Erik Erikson, Carl Rogers, Abraham Maslow, and B.F. Skinner. I will do as much as I can, and I will continue in the next class. I will do revision also in the next class. So those who are just asking me what we have to do as homework, you have to read this module. You can't see the screen? Hello?
Yes, we can see it. We can see it clearly.
Because Chipilero wrote she can't read, so I thought we have to read this module, because these 4 theories of personality is very important for us to understand. So these 4 theorists are there in this unit 4 of second block. So Erik Erikson wrote of 8 stages of psychosocial development. It is a theory of psychosocial development introduced in 1950s by psychologist and psychoanalyst. His name is Erik Erikson. It is built on Freud's theory of psychosocial development, psychosexual development, sorry, by drawing parallels in childhood stages, and it expands to include the influence of social dynamics and psychosocial development in adulthood. So Erik Erikson says there are 8 stages of individual human development. And these stages are influenced by biological, psychological, and social factors throughout the lifespan of an individual. The biopsychosocial approach, which is this given by Erik Erikson, has influenced several fields of study, including gerontology, personality development, identity formation, life cycle development, and many more. So, stage 1 is infancy, where the individual child moves between trust and mistrust, whom to trust, whom not to trust, how much to trust. Stage 2 is early childhood, where there is autonomy versus shame. This is my body, it's growing up, my breasts are developing, my voice is cracking, my muscles are developing. Some children grow up faster, some have first menstrual period faster, some feel shame because of menstrual period, some feel shame because of pubic hair, some feel shame because of body hair. Simultaneously, we know we are becoming independent, our body is growing up, we are maturing, and sometimes doubt also emerges. This is Erik Erikson's theory. Stage 3 is play age period, where initiative versus guilt. Should I take initiative? Should I take less initiative? Should I take more initiative? All this happens when we socialize in our childhood. Other children are behaving like this. I come back home and I tell my parent that X said this to me. My mother says, why didn't you reply? Some people are quiet, some children are more talkative. All this impacts stage 3. Stage 4 is the school age period, where we go to school and learn from our peers. Stage 5 is the adolescence period, identity versus confusion about my identity. Stage 6 is the young adulthood period. Intimacy develops. We start liking others, partners. Sexual life begins. Some people like to keep to themselves. So it's intimacy versus isolation. Stage 7 is the adulthood period. And last stage is old age period. So all these 8 stages you should read about in the module given by Erik Erikson. That is the first. Second is the theory given by Carl Rogers. Rogers believed that every person could achieve their goals, wishes, and desires in life. When they do so, or if they do so, self-actualization takes place. This was one of Carl Rogers' most important contribution to psychology, and we derive from psychology, from behavior science, from sociology. So Carl Rogers plays an important role in social work as well. And it is important for a person to reach their potential. A number of factors are involved if a person needs to achieve their potential. This is called the humanistic approach. The humanistic approach in psychology was developed against what some psychologists saw as limitations of psychodynamic psychology or behaviorist approach. Rogers developed what we now call client centered therapy or person centered therapy, which we use in social work. It is a non directive therapy allowing clients to express their issues, problems, concerns, and social workers take up these concerns, understand the social environment, understand the behavior pattern, understand the human psychology, understand the need for self actualization. In the process, they address the clients. So, Rogers developed the client centered therapy and they enable the clients. We believe that we should enable the clients to resolve the problems at their own pace, which means resolution of problems from client to client will differ, which means that we need to have an individualized approach to therapy. We need to have an individualized approach to each client. This method involves removing obstacles so that client can move forward, client can make process, client can feel that he or she is free and can enhance his normal growth and development. This is a non-directive technique which Rogers suggested, Carl Rogers suggested in assisting people, enabling people in taking responsibility for themselves. So in social work, when we say helping individuals to help themselves, it is derived from Carl Rogers client-centered therapy. Is it clear? Carl Rogers believed that the experience of being understood, somebody understands me, my therapist understands me, my counselor understands me, the social worker understands me, all this experience of being understood and valued gives them the freedom and encouragement to grow while they may be suffering, but they receive encouragement and motivation to grow out of their problems, to deal with their issues, right? So that is very important for the inner growth and development of the individual when he or she comes for help and therapy from the social worker, therapist, or counselor. Rogers recorded all his therapeutic sessions as a part of developing his theory, analyzed all those transcripts, examined the factors which relate to the client getting treatment through therapy, and he was the first person to record and publish the complete cases of psychotherapy. So, Carl Rogers is a very important factor in the life of social work profession, right? The third major one is Abraham Maslow. Many of you have heard about Maslow's theory of self-actualization. Abraham Maslow was one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century. Among his many contributions of psychology were his advancement to the field of humanistic psychology, his development of the hierarchy of needs. It's important for you to understand what was the hierarchy of needs. Please read the module. Maslow's career in psychology has been very relevant even in the 21st centuries. Maslow conducted his research, led to the concept of self-actualization and introduction of hierarchy of needs. So that hierarchy of needs is very important for you to understand. I have enumerated it in the next slide, which you can see. According to Maslow's popular hierarchy of needs module, all human beings have needs related to 5 key domains. What are the 5 key domains? Can you see the module? What are the 5 key domains? Physiological needs of the body, needs of safety, which we develop in the house, homes, through our parents, through our siblings, that we are safe in the house, we have a safe neighborhood, we have a safe society, we are safe in school. Also, the third important need in the hierarchy of needs is love and belonging. Need the self-esteem. I'm accepted as an individual in the house. I'm accepted as an individual in the class. I'm accepted as an individual in the society. And finally, the need for self-actualization. Maslow argued that these needs have a hierarchical order. Means what? First, our physiological needs and safety needs should be met. Our needs for safety and security should be met. We should then also be able to meet our needs for love and belonging, being loved, being welcomed, being accepted in the house, being accepted among our peers, simultaneously developing self esteem, and finally reading to self actualization. This hierarchy is not rigid, but it is flexible. But we need to understand that more levels could be added, like our aesthetic needs or needs for transcendence or cognitive needs, which we can discuss. But I would like you to read these three things again as homework, that what are cognitive needs, what are aesthetic needs, and what are transcendence needs. Please read the module to also understand the last B.F. Skinner's contribution to psychology, behaviorism, classical conditioning, and social work. We will revisit these as we move along because B.F. Skinner in the 1920s developed the theory of learning. So, when we speak of learning, habit formation, where behavior is involved, how behavior is reinforced. If we do something good, our parents reward us. If we do something good, our school rewards us. If we do something good, our teacher rewards us. All these behaviors, the theory of learning was propagated by B.F. Skinner, and it is called classical conditioning. So you need to read about development of complex human behavior when you read about B.F. Skinner. The last unit is unit 5, which is psychosocial development. Psychosocial development was developed by Sigmund Freud. You have heard about him and his theory of psychoanalysis, right? Freud believed that events in our childhood shape adult lives and they shape our personality. So it's very important to understand Freud's theory of psychoanalysis and to read about it, to understand that do we use it in any way, how he impacted his learning. It's important also to understand who was Sigmund Freud. He was born on May 6, 1856 in Czech Republic, then part of the Austrian Empire, and is hailed as the father of psychoanalysis. All the psychoanalysis we do and understand was developed by Freud. Funnily, Freud wanted to become a law professional, but later developed an interest in medicine. He did his master's in medicine in 1881, and his primary interests were neurology and neuropathology. He started studying patients of hysteria and psychological causes of patients of hysteria. He received a grant and he was a renowned neurologist who used hypnosis to treat women suffering from what was called hysteria. When he saw that from Jane Martin Shakert, who was a renowned neurologist who treated hypnosis, Freud developed an unconscious, that what is the conscious mind, what is the unconscious mind. And then he married Martha and set up a private practice to treat nervous disorders in patients. His work during the time led to the revolutionary concepts of the human mind, how it operates, and development of psychoanalytical method of treating patients, right? So Freud introduced several influential concepts, including Oedipus complex, dream analysis, the concept of id, ego, and superego, which we use very loosely. He published numerous books, including The Interpretation of Dreams, The Psychopathology of Everyday Life, and 3 essays on the theory of sexuality. He faced a lot of controversy and opposition, but despite facing opposition and controversy, he continued to work on his theories and expand the field of psychoanalysis. Right? He was impacted by the outbreak of World War I and later by the rise of the Nazis in Germany. He radically changed our understanding of human mind, emphasizing that unconscious, the power of unconscious is very important, and we need to process the unconscious as much as we need to understand the conscious mind. Freud's theories and contributions are listed, which you can easily find. But what is important to understand is that we will discuss in detail further. but I would like you to read about these four theorists. Have you begun to understand that why we need to understand these theorists and their contribution? Which means that I'm giving you some homework to do, which means that you need to read the module. Can I expect that you will spend at least half an hour or 45 minutes to read what we have covered today, including these four theorists? Can you name the theorists at least for me? Who are the four theorists? Freud, E.F. Skinner, Abraham
Yeah, there
Maslow,
is.
Izina, Abraham Maslow, and who's the last?
Carl Rogers.
Carl Rogers. That means you are listening. So I want to say that we need to read about why id, ego, superego we use. What are they? Huh? What is Maslow's hierarchy of needs? 4 5 points I'm giving you. You can write it in your notebook and from the chat and then read about it for tomorrow. What is hierarchy of needs? What did Carl Rogers say about psychoanalysis and client-centered therapy? Main point, correct? Client-centered therapy. One point I'm giving you about each, which you will read and come. And what did Skinner say? You will read and tell me tomorrow. So those who did not speak at all today, can I encourage you to start the discussion tomorrow? And those who shared today, we will give them second chance. But I'm again asking, are we expecting any more students tomorrow, or is this the number of students we are expecting? I want you to feel encouraged to read so that your motivation, interest, and curiosity should remain. That is part of a social work professional, to remain curious. And our understanding develops if we engage with each other on this platform. Today, you really did very good by sharing your fieldwork experiences. But now I would like you to share your learning, because we are already completing day 3 and we have only 3 more days to go to complete the whole module. So I don't want you to be surprised when we finish on Friday. I want you to be empowered and knowledgeable when you complete this module. That yes, we are very confident that we can do whatever assignment comes to us on this module. Is that clear for all of you? Am I clear to all of
Yes.
you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Will you take out 45 minutes to read about these four theories today
We will read,
or
but
tomorrow
We'll
morning?
try, ma'am. We'll try.
Try, ma'am. We'll try.
Try tomorrow morning also. You can get up early morning. So I would like you to understand that what psychology, sociology, and behavior scientists like these four theorists contributed, because sometimes students feel that the theory is very difficult to understand. But I want to simplify it for you, and I want you to simplify it for yourself by discussing it tomorrow at 3 o'clock with me. That yes, this is what we understood. So exchanging notes with each other will help us to strengthen our theoretical base in what is human growth and behavior, and why these four theorists, how have they contributed, how does counseling actually take place, and what do therapists and counselors gain from these four theorists in therapy. What did they learn from these four theorists when they became good therapists and good counselors? That is what I am trying to encourage you to do. I hope I have made myself clear, and that you will try and revisit our discussions and strengthen your own base as professional social workers. Do you have any questions before we close? Any questions? No
I
questions?
know.
So, trying means you must try seriously to finish and read this module. Can I hope for the best?
Same to you, ma'am.
Okay, all the best. See you tomorrow, and please encourage others in your WhatsApp group to join. Only 3 more classes are left. I want to that you make the best use of it.
Thank you for the presentations, ma'am. Have a good
Thank
day.
you very much. All the best.
Thank you, ma. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
And thank you, class. At least today we had a lot of people talking. Be live tomorrow again. It was nice.
Okay. How far?